Hey there, I'm Becca. This is Keith. And this is our home, Vagari, which means to wander. And that's the plan, to wander around the world on our sailboat. This is Foster's Cove, which is just a tiny cove here on the north side of Jamaica that we've tucked into. We didn't have any electronic charts for this actually. That's kind of been the story of Jamaica, is we've been piecing together charts because there's no one good source. So yeah, we didn't have electronic charts for here, but we had read about it, so we found some paper charts and we used those, and that got us in here safely. And so we're just anchored and we're ready to go explore the beaches. There seems to be a river over there near that beach that comes out from the mountains, so we're gonna go check out the little river there that empties out into this cove. But yeah, the water is just crystal clear today, and you can see there's, well, you can't see it, but there's a reef submerged under there. So definitely needed those charts and coordinates and such. And then there's all these exposed rock, and there's a few rocks that are submerged that you can't see that definitely would make it too shallow for the boat. So yeah, paper charts came in handy, good use there, and yeah, we'll just continue to piece together charts to finish Jamaica here, but probably stay a few days and then off to Port Antonio. Okay, Mr. Gondola Man.
Yeah.
Take me someplace fun.
All right, give me a starboard paddle.
All right. I'll be helpful. Let's go play on these rocks and shake that coconut tree, the palm. I want to see if I can get a coconut to fall.
I apologize for my camera work. I'm having to hold the dinghy in the tide because it's a little bit rocky, and there's some of these rocks around here are pretty sharp, so I don't want to let the dinghy get touched on them. So I apologize. Oh, be careful.
Yeah, I don't have a tree climbing skill.
All right, be careful. No! Unfortunately, I think you need a lot of oomph. Oh! Oh! Ah! 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 Ah!
I don't think so.
I don't think so, babe. Well, great effort.
They're like really, you have to get up there and pluck it off.
Yeah. All right, let's come back. Get a little wavy down here for me.
We just beached the dinghy, and we're told by some locals that if we go in here, supposedly there's a river that'll lead us to some waterfalls. So I think we're a bit on a mission at this point. He said it's about a 45-minute walk, so hopefully we don't get lost.
Hopefully what?
Said hopefully we don't get lost. Although it seems relatively clear of a path.
This is the part one fine.
And then you just follow the river. Sometimes I feel like I'm in Jurassic Park. It's insane. Huge boulders, trees everywhere. I feel like a big like Stegosaurus should just like walk by, or a How's it going?
It is going great. Very calm. Moving to our next anchorage and last anchorage, if things go well, in Jamaica, Port Antonio, which is down on the north side, but down on the very east end of it. And spend about a week down there. But it is a calm morning, about 8 a.m. There is just about no wind. What little wind there is right in front of us. So we are using the generator and motoring at about 4 knots. We should be there in about 6 hours. It's about 27 miles down the hill. Beautiful coastline.
I was just gonna say, at least we have a beautiful view, even though we're motoring instead of sailing. It's pretty stunning. Yay, we're sailing! We are lucky and got some winds, so we're not just purely motoring our way to Port Antonio.
No, we got reported today. We only ran the generator for about an hour, and then we spent about 3 hours tacking back and forth, moving slowly east, and then the winds have slowly been clogging out of the northeast over the last hour, and we are on the right, basically just about point right where we need to go. We're making a little over 4 knots and 12 knots of wind with full cannons.
Nice.
On a beat, basically. We're on as tight of a reach as we can, but we are heading in the right direction, and it's flat sea, so it is not ungovernable. If this is beating, I'd be very happy. Most of the time, it's not like this.
Yeah, this is not a bad beat.
This is not a bad beat.
Now, if only the fish would bite. That's what I'm waiting on. We have both the poles out. No bites yet today. I don't know. It hasn't been great fishing in Jamaica, but
The only thing is negative about Jamaica.
yeah, the only thing negative about Jamaica, we absolutely love it here, but the fishing hasn't been great. And we talked to multiple fishermen, and they all say Jamaica is overfished, and they all have trouble with it. So it is what it is. It's sad, but it's a beautiful day. So much for having the coupler fixed. On our sail to Port Antonio, it came apart again, and the boat shaft and the electric motor shaft again separated. Access to the coupler! Finally!
Nice.
We removed one of our motors, which was a little overwhelming to start, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but it took a grand total of 45 minutes to do it.
Yeah,
So.
just a few bolts and a few clever things, but otherwise, now we have full access to our whole situation, so it's helpful. Now we can see what we need to do. I think we have a little alignment issue, which is why we're here again. This time we're in Port Antonio, so still in Jamaica, still dealing with our propulsion. How's your first Jamaican juicy patty?
Oh man, it is delicious. It's like a version of a empanada, but definitely different.
We were told not to call them empanadas, however. That's what we read. They call them patties, and it's delicious.
The pastry is unbelievable.
It's their take on fast food, which I'm okay with. It's delicious.
About halfway, okay?
So we were on a mission to find a drill press to put some new holes in the coupler so we can put screws through the coupler into the shaft so that it can't slide around. And we ended up here thanks to somebody we met who welds, who suggested we come here to Rushy. And so we're in his backyard workshop using a drill press.
What's it in? A bit sliding up? Yeah, a bit sliding up on it.
So we are still on day 2 of trying to fix this coupler. We just got back from running all over town and finding Rushy, who let us use his drill bit. And then we hit the market, made friends with Paul and his son Junior, who sold us a bunch of fruit and vegetables, and we bought some soursop, and it's delicious. So I am going to make some soursop juice. After talking to Junior, he says he particularly likes to blend it with some lemon juice and some ginger. So I will try that because I just took a little bite of it and it's delicious and super juicy and very sweet. So gonna do that, and then it's the afternoon, and now that we have the coupler with the proper holes in it, we will try to attach it to the shaft yet again. I don't even know what attempt this is because we've done it in about 3 harbors now throughout Jamaica. So what do you think?
I like our chances today.
Yeah, I feel like we are closer to
Well,
properly fixing it than we've been since we've got to Jamaica. It's been like a month of on and off coupler issues, so I don't know. I'm feeling positive, feeling good. This is super important, so
to explain to people,
trying to get
this
this
is the coupler, right? And it clamps over on one side the 1.5 inch, on the other side the 1 inch, and they clamp together. And these keys make sure that they work together all the time in a rotation.
right.
But the problem is the shaft, which is at a slight angle, has no anything other than friction to keep it from sliding out the back of the boat. If it slide out the back of the boat, basically
We got bigger problems.
Yeah, bigger problems. So,
We have a hole in our boat, so
crucial issue. We've always kind of known it could be an issue, and so we used to have a hose clamp, and friction used to work. But when we picked up that line, it pulled it out. It did a little bit of damage, but it also, more than damage, it cleaned off all the corrosion that was there, and so now it's a lot smoother, and so the shaft wants to slide back. So we've, over multiple attempts, eventually drilled through stainless. And for those of you who know, stainless is a nightmare to drill through. So we're actually finding someone who had a drill press today and salvaging this and then kind of welding some fillers in.
yeah, where we attempted to drill and make modifications along the way throughout Jamaica, and we never did it proper. We just didn't have a drill press, and so we were using a handheld drill. And so today, when we used the drill press at Rushy's, he also is a welder, so he welded in our failed attempts from previously this month. So
trade-off is that means it's now hardened to steel, so you can't drill it again.
yeah,
So we're done with that. But what the idea here is that we've got these things where we can put in what we call a grub screw, right? It's a nub that goes into there, and now all we've got left is to drill a small nub on the shaft sides, which is hard, but one's bronze, it's a little bit softer, and then one's stainless. So we can do it probably. We've got a new drill to do it. But the challenge is aligning these reasonably close so that when you clamp them, the keys are on one side and then the grub screws are on the other side.
and they're in the proper
And
space.
the keys keep it, make sure that it locks rotationally in sync, and then the grub screws make sure that the shafts don't separate longitudinally.
Yep. So that's where we're at. So I don't know. I mean, we're not in a super rush. We're loving Port Antonio. We're making a lot of friends, actually. Everyone here, all the locals, all the Jamaicans are, I mean, literally across the entire country, I've been some of the nicest people I think we've ever met in our lives. Like, they go out of their way to make sure we have everything we need, and we're finding what we need. We, as an example, what did we do today? We went to the marina. We're sitting at the dock.
So we went to the marina this morning, sat on the dock, and there was a local sitting there in the marina. So I started a conversation with him and said, hey, I'm working on this problem, and do you know anyone that has a drill press? And he's like, yeah, there's a guy up the road
Named Nixie.
And so he kind of gave us directions. We got close, and then we started
Oh my gosh.
asking-
First of all, the directions in Jamaica are amazing. They're like, find this gas station, kind of go left, sort of go right, ask around, you'll see a tin shop, there's no sign. It's amazing. Just find Nixie is all they
Right.
tell you.
So we found Nixie. We got there, but to get there, we had to, 2 people point us in the right direction. One guy made a phone call to Nixie, and so Nixie
Shows up.
But in the meantime, we have a taxi that sees us, right? And he's like, hey, you guys look lost. He's like, and he confirms Nixie's is actually this exact location. So we got there, met Nixie. Nixie sees the problem. He's like, I don't have the tool for you.
Well, he has a drill press, but it's broken.
Yeah, it's broken. I don't have the tool, but he's like, I know a guy that does. So he's like, gives us direction, which again, not amazing.
Yeah, he's like, find the bridge, kind of go right,
but
sort of
check
take
it.
a left.
Check it, no, check it. He is like, at some point he knows he's like, can't explain it to us. We're like,
He's like, you'll never get
the
there.
dumb white people, they can't figure it out, right?
Yeah, you'll never get there.
And so he's like, I got a reason to go back over there anyways, and so I'll find you on the way. To which we think he'll be in the car following us at some point. And now he shows up on his bicycle like 15 minutes later as we're walking the 30-minute walk.
Yeah, he tells us to get a head start, so we take off and then he finds us.
And then he goes slow and bikes us all the way there, all the way the next 15 minutes. And then we get there, and then we meet at this place. Rushy. And Rushy is working on cars, and he just kind of stops and asks, I say, hey, can I use your drill press? I'll give you a little bit of money
And he says, yeah, to this point, no one has asked for any money, anything. And I'm like, I'm going to use this guy's equipment. I have my own drill bits, so we're gonna do it ourselves. But and he's like, yeah, but he knows the problem, and he's like,
Good luck.
Good luck. It ain't gonna work. And he's right. And so he sets it, and he sits there, and then he starts to help me. And so we agreed a price, but the price was without him helping, right? And then within 5 minutes, he takes pity on me and realizes I tries to help. And we eventually come up with a new plan, and then he, for an extremely reasonable price, offers to like
Weld
fill
our
in
failed
the
attempts.
gap, fill in the failed attempts.
And I guess we should say we had failed attempts because we don't have a drill press, so we were drilling with a portable drill and had drill bits.
And the drill has because it's been used for 4 years, or 3 years so heavily, it has a slight wobble. And that slight wobble, when you're trying to drill stainless, is a real problem because the drill bit will break.
And that's what happened to us.
And the drill bit breaking is a major issue.
And they broke in the coupler without the ability for us to unscrew it back out, basically.
You understand it, but stainless is really hard, right? But to drill through stainless, you got to go slow. You need a little bit of oil. As Ed says, you can't go too slow. But the other thing is you got to be perfectly straight up and down. And you need a really hard metal.
Bit.
You need a harder metal than stainless. And so there's two types. There's titanium, which will do it a little bit, but it'll eat through the bit quick. And then there's cobalt. And cobalt are really hard. The problem is there's nothing harder than cobalt. So we got cobalt
stuck inside our coupler.
Stuck inside the coupler.
So then once that happens, you can't drill through cobalt with cobalt. There's just no option.
There's no harder metal that I know of, or not readily commercially available in Jamaica, that you can use to drill cobalt out. So we had to come up with a new plan. Anyway, every single person on the way, and then afterward we stopped at a local market. We met
Paul and Junior.
And he was
the nicest people.
Yeah.
And then we met Wayne, who told us about a hike up to a little place that oversees the whole bay, that they have some natural juices, and he's like, oh yeah, you need to go on this hike. Everyone's just been
my
so
takeaway would
to
be
us.
from in the 5.5 or 6 weeks we were in Jamaica is not a lot of people come here, or literally we have been the only cruising boat until today. We saw another one.
Yeah.
But it is amazing.
Everyone should cruise Jamaica.
The sailing's really nice. It's a lot easier to go.
A lot of cool anchorages.
Yeah, a lot of cool anchorages. A lot easier to go east to west, but you can still do west to east.
Yeah, you just got to pick your weather windows.
And the people were nice. The anchorages are amazing. Some beautiful, beautiful scenery. Not a lot of people do it. The charts and the cruising guides are old, but they're accurate. There's not a lot of difference in them.
Yeah. Anyway, we're loving it. Everyone's super nice.
Yeah.
You want to eat any of this?
All right, how's it going?
It's interesting. So, pretty good. So we have 2 out of the 3 pieces of the coupler together, and then this coupler sits down like that. The issue is we need to make a hole in the shaft to match this hole. So you got to place it just right, though. We're going to try to transfer some nail polish because it's what we have, and you use what you got. We're going to paint this, and then that'll leave a hollow spot there, right? And then we got to place it perfectly, and hopefully it leaves the nail polish on the shaft, and then where there is no nail polish is where we're drill. But the issue is trying to get it to match it perfectly, right? So what we did was we took chopsticks and put them down in there, and then that way, as you come down, hopefully, you catch all 4 chopsticks, and it helps you line up perfectly. We'll put it down, it'll be like a stamp, and then we'll pull it back up. And that's, I don't know, we're hoping this works.
There we go. Stand by, we'll find out.
Yeah. So attempt 1 was a fail because it didn't transfer enough paint to see exactly where the hollow spot was. So we filled the hole with some, it's called butyl tape, which is just some sticky stuff, basically kind of like a clay sort of thing that you're working with. It's different, it's for marine stuff. Anyway, we filled it and then painted that and then stuck it down, and it perfectly transferred a circle. It's really hard to see down there, I guess, but perfectly transferred a circle. Here we go. So that's where we're drilled, where the red dot is. That's our guide. So fingers crossed we stuck it down there well enough and it's in the right spot, but we think it is. So now it's a matter of drilling well enough. Wish us luck. Back to the store we go.
Back to the store, hopefully the last time.
Yeah, I can't even think about how many times we've gone to the store in the last, I don't know, a couple days here to fix this coupler.
Getting closer now, though.
Yeah, we are.
Getting close.
Another day of walking through town
Yeah.
and found a bakery, which means we
Let's go
found
say
more
hi to-
patties.
Let's go say hi to the guy that did the welding and helped with us yesterday real quick.
Rushy.
Where we go, yeah.
Oh yeah, you want to tell him it was successful?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Morning, babe.
Morning. So we got the grub screws in place. We think. I mean, we know they're there,
Yeah, the grub screws are there.
and we're hoping they'll be deep enough to be effective.
Yeah, it's the challenge is make sure that the holes are deep enough and the grub screws are tight enough without being too tight that the coupler can still set flush to the shaft, but allowing enough to the grip. But I think we managed to get there without doing any real structural integrity issues to the shafts with the coupler.
And we got last night we got everything put back together. So the coupler's in place, put back together, the motor's back together. We ran it so we know it runs. We hooked up all the electrical side of it. So I think the plan is we're here in this marina, which is the West Harbor. The plan is to move to the East Harbor today. So it's just a short little jaunt across a channel and then re-anchor over there.
Yep, because it's free over there.
Yeah, you have to pay to anchor on this side, which is
First
handy.
time ever happened to me, which is very odd.
You don't usually pay to anchor at all.
It's related to the fact that I think Jamaica, the
Government
owns the marinas to some extent, or is in partnership with the marinas, and they decided that in this bay, it is basically, even though it's not a wild park reserve or anything like that, they just charge you to anchor on this side of the bay as opposed to not on the other side. So we're gonna go to the other side, and it's basically the same location. It's not a big town. It's like a mile up.
Yeah.
So it's nothing.
Should be fine. It's just slightly less protected, but I think with the winds we're expected to get, it should be fine. So we'll go over there. We already paid up yesterday, so we're all set. So I think now, so this will be a test, I guess, a short little test of the motor. So we'll go over there, check everything afterwards. Hopefully it's all good. And yeah, hopefully this is the end of our propulsion issues, knock on wood.
The only time we've had it was really in Jamaica, but it happened last night, so we'll see.
Hopefully it started in Jamaica, hopefully it ends in Jamaica.
For sure.
And this isn't an ongoing thing because it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
So,
Sailed in an anchor 4 times, so.
Yeah.
All
all right,
let's
do
give it a go.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna try to give you a kiss, and you just,
Aw.
you just ran away from me.
Plan will be to go from here up through the channel and over to here to East Harbor. So the boat's out there, and we just came into town to grab some groceries, and we are currently sitting in someone's backyard drinking some red stripe at a picnic table. So this is, I feel like, quintessential Jamaica for us.
Yeah, this is
Wouldn't you say that?
I would say this is about the vibe that Jamaica gives off.
Yeah, at least for us. I mean, we haven't really been in touristy areas, so I guess for us it's been a little different, but we pretty much, wherever we go, the locals are amazing. We've just been making friends with a bunch of Jamaicans, and they always invite us over, and they're...
Some beers for a couple bucks.
Yeah,
and
like $2 a beer or so, and then they let us hang out in their backyard, and yeah, it's kind of awesome. Amazing people in a really cool place, so. While we're here in the backyard having a beer, I guess we should tell you, we just got to the new anchorage in East Harbor that we said we were gonna go to. Everything went really well. The motor worked well. Didn't really have any like issues, I guess. Nothing came apart, which was our previous issues, so it was nothing like emergent. But
yeah, the coupler, like the grub screw on the back of the aft shaft, so the boat shaft, it's got a key on one side to keep it turning in sync with the forward shaft. It's also got a grub screw which keeps it from sliding back into the back of the boat and pulling out of the back of the boat.
Which we created.
That second one, that's a lot of the challenge. And the one grub screw, the forward grub screw on the electric motor shaft is fine and it sets nice, but on the back one it sets up just a little bit too high, and so the top piece, called the saddle of the coupler, just sets ever so slightly high. And yeah, we're talking within like a millimeter, like literally a millimeter. And it sets high enough that when it rotates, it creates a slight wobble, and you can hear it tick, or it's slightly ticking the...
But you can hear it like kind of shift as it rotates, like it leans a little to each side as it's going.
So we gotta take the motor back off and fix the back one. I think the front one's fine.
Yeah, so it'll amount to taking the motor apart.
Take the motor off.
Taking the coupler apart.
Yeah, and then
the backside of the coupler.
Grinding down that screw from...
the grub
it's got
screw.
6 threads on it. We'll make it 5 threads, and then that'll probably
put it back together.
And that'll be it.
Yep. So at some point another day of work, but
yeah, we gotta move. We're just, I think we're gonna stay here. The weather looks terrible for the next 10 days to try to go east anyway, so we're thinking probably gonna be here for the next week to 2 weeks easily anyways, and it's not that big. It's a half a day's of work to redo that.
The weather itself looks nice in terms of it's super sunny and beautiful, but the winds just aren't right.
Yeah, the winds are out of the east, and we're trying to go east.
Yeah. So while we're waiting, we'll just enjoy some red stripes in the backyard of some friends and fix our motor, hang out in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So yeah. No complaints here.
Come visit, it's nice.
Yeah, highly recommend it for sure. Okay, back to the drinks.
This is a temp 96 on the coupler, but we've got grub screws in it. That alignment looks equal there. There's an equal gap across the top.
The bolts are all in like an equal amount, which is important. Put Loctite in there. Even the grub screws are in there. I don't know what else to do at this point if this fails.
Yeah, I think we have to just...
Then we need a new coupler design.
Yeah, we have to do something different if that's the case.
It's like a family tree.